Are you really listening to this podcast all by yourself? Hit that subscribe button. Share it with the homies. Watch the Climate Podcast with everyone. Let's get right in the episode. Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of the Climate Podcast. Today we have Sultan Sindhu. Welcome to the podcast, Sultan.
Thank you for having me, guys. Appreciate y'all.
Sultan is not just a regular guest. Ibrahim, please introduce Sultan today.
So me and Sultan have known each other for a couple years now through some mutual friends. But what's special about this guy is he works for the Chicago Bulls. This man is the currently account executive, which we'll get into later. And not only is he in the official NBA kind of bubble per se, he is a baller shot caller, as a term we like to use, not very loosely. This man is a certified bucket getter. So he understands both aspects of the game. He's also worked for the Clippers. Was it about a year and a half ago?
Yeah, it was like 2 years ago. I was there for a year.
That's
2.5 years
insane.
ago when I started, probably right like 2 months before they signed Kawhi and PG. So that May, before that July.
And I want to get into that later because
Yeah.
I know you got some stories. But we're gonna throw you right into the mix, Sultan. What is the craziest smack talk story you have ever been a part of, or have given, or have heard?
Yeah. This guy's super kind. I'm nothing, honestly. Anyone can do what I'm doing. And if you want to learn how to get there, just hit me up, But smack talk story, people say I'm lying because they'll say like, dude, you definitely talk a lot of smack. But I feel like as I got older, I stopped. Stories I remember, nothing that sticks out really, except one, because I won't say his name, but he's like one of my boys to this day. And like the first time I actually met him when we were like shorties, like 14, 15 at another kid's house, crashing at his crib. And the next day we were going to play basketball, but I was just talking shit, like, oh, I'm going to fall on you guys, all of you guys, like none of y'all can guard me. And it was my first time meeting him, and he was getting pissed and like mad salty and like, all right, bet we're going to play one-on-one. That's why I'm not going to say his name right now, but I ended up beating him 11-0.
No way.
It's just memorable to me because like to this day, like my circle's small, but he ended up being one of the people I'm still close to. I was chilling with him yesterday. So, and he'll say like, yo, I didn't even hoop then. That's when I first started hooping, blah, blah, blah. But he can hoop for sure. He'll get his buckets. So, but I don't really talk smack. I mean, maybe when I was younger, high school, I for sure did, but nothing crazy, man. Nothing.
So in the moment, you kind of talked a little shit. You talked your shit. You said you were gonna whoop him, and you backed it up. Whooped him 11-0.
If someone starts talking shit, I'll definitely go. I think that
Game over
makes
by
it
that,
fun.
yeah.
I think it makes it fun to have that competitiveness. I'm not really going to like fight on the court, but it's fun. Yeah, I think it's more fun when the other person's talking shit, to be honest, than it is like when I am.
Well, shout out to that guy. Hopefully he's watching. You're a beast. Next thing I wanted to ask you is about, I don't think you have a regular route into the basketball world. You have a more personal connection to the basketball world than some of the other guests that we've had. So my question to you is, where did your love of the game come from? And why did you stick to it in the way that you did?
Man, it just started. I have an older brother, 9 years older. We had a basketball hoop outside. Both my siblings. I have an older sister, 8 years older. But man, just learning from them, being around them, and then seeing him play. And then I went to MEC as a kid, and like all the Desi kids, Arab kids, all of us, like all the kids there, man, we all loved basketball growing up, and it's just something I loved. My brother kept hooping. He played in these tournaments, Muslim tournaments. So like, it got cool. He played varsity in high school. I went to all his games, a lot of them. So, man, just from playing it, loving it, and then just started watching it too, obviously, and became a huge, huge fan. And I don't know, man. I wasn't athletic or good enough, obviously, to get to the league, but I always wanted to work in it. So,
yes, sir. And
I wanted to bring this up a lot later, but since we're kind of going there already, I remember one time we were hanging out. And like what normal guys do is when they hang out, they just talk shit, talk hoops, right? I remember one time, I don't remember exactly what you said, but you basically were talking about how you have this dream to be working in the league to somehow get your foot in the door in the league. And when I found out that you were working for the Clippers, and even before when you were working with that, I forgot what it was, but you were working with that other organization basketball wise. You were a head coach and all that stuff. I kept thinking about that one conversation where you kind of spoke into fruition. So shout out to you for that grind and keeping like that dream alive. So when I found out that you're you're working for Clippers, I was like, yo, that's insane, crazy.
I appreciate that. I'm a big believer in speaking things into existence. You got to speak it into existence. So
Yeah. Just I guess a clarifying question. So you're the account executive, right? And I guess I have to ask, does that make you a part of the front office, or what part of the organization are you a part of?
yeah, so I am a front office employee, account executive, but well, I'm in more on the business side. So more working with like bringing the revenue in, and like my dream obviously is like to be on the basketball side.
Yeah.
One day transition over, work, I'm
Yeah.
just young getting into it, but that's the long-term goal. But yeah, right now I love the business ops side. I'm working in there mainly in like working with season ticket holders and businesses, and like there'll be like, for example, like hedge funds or companies that use our tickets to bring clients out. And so I work with a lot of B2B or B2C customers, and then I work with a lot of group outings. So if companies want to do big outings, I'll help coordinate that, do different just make it dope for them. And like, we'll be a part of the team that's like deciding, putting together a theme night, what kind of item are we doing, who's performing, like just different business ops strategies like that. But yeah, like any kid, the dream's to be on the big boy table, like when they're drafting and scouting. But we'll get there, hopefully, inshallah.
Inshallah, you do. That'd be amazing. So, I mean, my question now is, I'm not asking for any specifics. This is more of a very vague, general question. Do you hear like the whispers that go around in the front office, or are you just that guy who doesn't really hear all like the juicy stuff?
I hear as much as like, I hear things, but I hear as much as like everyone else will hear. We all have Bleacher Report. We all have that extent. So
yeah,
everything is just so quick now. Everything gets on Twitter anyways, quick. But I mean, man, yeah, being a front office employee is dope. I get to have meetings with like, I've heard Michael Reinsdorf talk to us so many times. I've got to talk to Michael Reinsdorf one-on-one before, like, so like that's something that is like, that's one of the like, though even that moment being able to talk to Michael Reinsdorf one-on-one for like 10, 15 minutes, him knowing who I am, and like those moments are cool to me. And like, it's a cool organization for sure.
Has there ever been a time where like you heard something in the front office and then like 10, 20 minutes later, it's on Twitter?
Man, nothing. Have I?
Because I feel like that'd be like the craziest thing. Like I just hear something happen at work, and then 20 minutes later, the whole world knows about it. It's like, yo,
nothing that crazy at the Bulls, but like I remember the Clippers stuff. Like they didn't say what was gonna happen, but they were like, yo, just like be prepared. Something might happen. And like me knowing basketball, I mean, I was telling my boys before, like me thinking I know basketball, I was telling my boys before I went to the Clippers, like, yo, these guys have so much cap space. They have Jerry West, they have Steve Ballmer, like they're gonna do something, And I thought they were gonna try to get Kawhi and KD, but whatever, they ended up with Kawhi and PG. But like, I as a basketball fan, I think every basketball junkie had a hunch that Clippers were building something there. So, I mean.
Dude,
like nothing, there's no way anyone would come in there. Sometimes they'll give us different details and stuff, but like not anything crazy, but like nothing direct, but like,
Yeah.
Imagine that Kawhi and KD.
Dude.
That would have been sick.
I didn't even think about that.
I'm sure that's what plan A might have been, but then KD went to Brooklyn with Kyrie.
Yeah. So I know you said you left right before the Paul George deal. So my question to you is, did you leave Los Angeles as like, I just really want to go to Chicago, or what was like the reasoning behind, leaving the Clippers?
I was at the Clippers until I started in May, and I finished at the end of that year with the Clippers. So it was like 10 months. And it was just because, man, the Bulls had a promoted position. It was back home. We have a small front office. The Chicago Bulls literally never, like rarely hire. And like things that I wanted to go in, like they were just full and people are happy. They don't want to leave,
Yeah.
But it just kind of lined up because the program I was doing at the Clippers is a 9 to 12 month program.
Yeah.
You have to be a beast there. It's so competitive. Like it was awesome. There was like at one point there was like 50 of us working there. By the time I ended there was like 20 inside sales reps. I was ranked at the top of them in terms of like overall revenue, things like that. And
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
Bulls
talk your
were
shit.
the Bulls were looking, man, for an A, and it worked out. I would have, Clippers were amazing, but yeah, I don't know. Wanted to come home, work for the Bulls seemed like the
Yes,
right move.
sir.
It just seemed like when you look back at like your life too, I'm sure like everyone at some point will realize this, but if you look back at like life, all the dominoes kind of like make sense when how they fall and which way they go. So it kind of just worked out for me, and I don't know.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good. It worked out. This is where I wanted to be long term. So
Yeah.
got back quick.
So I know a question that's probably burning in everyone's mind and heart right now. This is a question hopefully you're able to answer. How has the work culture, if at all, changed from when you first started with the Bulls to today?
Work culture.
I'm basically trying to get at the change in front office.
Well, the change in front office, I would say, is I came in and I started in February. So it was like I started right when All-Star weekend was coming there. Like the
Okay.
basketball world in Chicago was already like, if it was a stock, that started going green right then. And then the last dance came. But like, man, basketball culture or the front office culture at the Bulls is amazing. It's family. It's a Midwest vibe. It's a family vibe. Everyone's close. Like I said, we got a small front office team. We don't have like we have one of the smaller front offices in like the whole league. So it's cool. It's very like how you guys would feel Chicago is. It's a very homey Midwest family vibe. Like I said, like I never even talked to Steve Ballmer, and obviously I was like whatever, like a starting position was stuff. But like, man, like first week at the Bulls, I ran into Michael Reinsdorf and he stopped me and we talked for like, or I stopped him, but like he kept the conversation. He started conversation. He was interested. He asked me, and we ended up talking for like 10, 15 minutes. And like moments like that to me mean a lot because it's just like, man, there's no ceiling, there's no limit,
Yeah.
But being able to have like the owner of the team like, know who I am
Yeah.
as like, and that kind of stuff is cool.
Yeah. And you probably did, but did you grow up a Bulls fan?
Yeah, of
Who
course.
was the player that you looked up to? What era were you?
I mean, man, I started watching basketball. It was like Kobe and Allen Iverson, like those were my favorite. And then like, man, I liked a lot of players growing up. Obviously, my favorite, like everyone knows, is like my favorite's D Rose for sure. Just he's the GOAT, to me. Like I'll take D Rose at his best against anybody's point guard, any point guard, and I bet he's your favorite point guard's favorite point
Yes,
guard.
sir.
You know what I'm saying? So D Rose, just Chicago kid, what he did was, I think, is unbelievable. He wasn't scared of LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. He went head to head with them at 22. Like, he's
Facts.
still a dog. Like, you see what he's doing in New York. That dog is something you have inside you. Those type of guys step it up in the playoffs, and that's how you know who is like the real deal, And that's why I'll ride with D Rose till the end. Other guys like I really like growing up that people never probably talk about, like Brandon Jennings. I loved Brandon Jennings when I was a kid. I loved Monte Ellis when I was a kid. I thought they were dope. I
That
got to
matchup
meet
was
Brandon
crazy.
Jennings once. I met Brandon Jennings at the Drew League. He was dope. He was so
Wow.
nice. I told him, I was like, yo, I used to make YouTube videos of you when I was a kid. And he just started laughing. And he was like, that's love, bro. So it's cool. He was a very cool guy.
That's funny.
That matchup was insane between Brandon Jennings and D Rose.
Yeah, they've been going at it since high school.
Always used to go
Oak Hill and Simeon.
Yeah.
Oak Hill was undefeated till D Rose gave them that L.
Are you in any like position in the front office to like, I don't know, even poke at them and be like, maybe we should go for Derrick Rose, or you're not involved in that side at all?
No, not really. I mean, man, it's like we've been in a pandemic, so we've been working from home too. I'm like, I've heard from AK on calls, and like Mark Eversley talked to us as a whole front office, but like I've never been able to walk by them and stuff. And like, but the Bulls are cool, man. We always like in our business ops meetings, we're always like talking about what we could do, like as we're always chopping it up. But no, I mean, man, I just started with the team a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
The goal is to get there where these guys are like, yo, what does Sultan think, But
Yeah.
not there yet.
Yeah. So I wanted to track back a bit and have you take us through the story of your, I guess, basketball career, starting with, IFS, or maybe even before, if you think we should start earlier than that. So did you play basketball in like high school? If so, was being the best at basketball your passion, or were you always sort of focused on wanting to be in the business part of things?
No, I mean, man, when I was in high school, I was playing high school, middle school. I cared about playing basketball a lot. I would shoot like 500 shots a day, probably at some point. I don't know when it was, if I was 14, when I was 15, but there was points where I was going every day, shooting, training, going to school early, getting shots up, you know. I played AAU. I played ball in high school, middle school. Always played to like get buckets. That's what the game comes down to. You know, that's what I always played to try to be better at, be competitive. I love competition, dude. That's my I'm very competitive, and like I feel like everyone that works in the league has like that certain kind of like competitiveness in them. That's why they love being where they're at. But yeah, I just love competition, dude. I love all sports. I love UFC, that one-on-one competition. I love all competitive type of thing, seeing people like be their best, you know.
So you mentioned you played AAU, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you played AAU in high school, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
What's the difference between the two, and what would you say
I
kind
coached
of developed your
AAU
game
too.
more?
I coached AAU and
Yeah.
I coached middle school basketball too. So I've coached like school and I've coached high school AAU players. Man, it's different. It's a different style. AAU, you can get noticed, and it's important to like, one, you're playing against great competition. You always want to be playing and consistently hooping against the best, but you get noticed, man. There's tournaments I was at when I was a kid that like I saw Tom Izzo and like,
Oh wow.
there's like just like Calipari, like these guys, like tournaments in Indiana, tournaments in Wisconsin, like even in
They
Illinois. But
personally went?
yeah, not to watch me, but like, man,
Yeah.
Jabari was at that tournament, you know, like there's people that like, so all these like tournaments, AU programs, they're cool, but it's different. Obviously, like AU is different than organized like high school balls, like that's more fundamental stuff. But I think both are important. If you're a hooper, you can hoop at either level. I mean, I'm gonna put my kid in everything. If he wants to hoop, if he doesn't, then it's fine, you know. But I think both are just as important, though.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I just won't ever talk to him ever again. It's whatever, you know. No, I'm just kidding. So you mentioned obviously you were all about the competition. You were mentioning before we started the podcast, you went to U of I. When you went to U of I, was basketball still on your mind? Were you like,
I
maybe
went
I'll
to
give this a
DePaul.
shot?
I actually went to DePaul. I was saying
Ah.
it's
I was about
dope
to
that
say,
you
went to
go to
DePaul.
U of I.
Ah.
Because I think it's dope that you go to U of I. Because I've been to U of I a few times actually. I had some moments there too when I was in college. It's a fun place.
You were
Well,
a finance major at DePaul?
Sports management.
Sports management.
So
Okay.
it's like it's a management degree. So all like business school classes at DePaul, we have like the same core, and then certain classes will be different. And then there's a
Right.
management degree and specialized in sports. So certain like
Okay.
sports related classes.
Okay.
So I mean, DePaul is also pretty big with
I
basketball
mean,
as
DePaul was
well.
back then. I don't know about now, but I know DePaul back then. They had Q Rich and they had other guys that played at DePaul, and DePaul was a powerhouse for basketball back in the day. I don't
Yeah.
know about when you were there. What
No,
was it like?
DePaul when I was there wasn't as good. But man, our women's team was fire. We would go to like Final Fours,
Oh wow.
Elite Eights. Like I know our women's team was super fire. Our boys team, like, man, we're in a tough conference. You know, we got this new arena built. We have a new coach that we just recently brought in, and he should be doing good work there. So, but yeah, man, DePaul has a history. Like George Mikan is he's a Hall of Famer, you know, Minneapolis Lakers.
Yeah.
So we have some legends there. Yeah, Q Rich, Wilson Chandler went there, and like when I was there, my grade actually, Billy Garrett was in my class. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but he spent some time with the Knicks. He was a Big East freshman of the year, my freshman year of college. So,
Oh
you
wow.
know, also
Pretty
can
cool.
produce hoopers. Aaron Simpson, that's my dog, OG.
Oh
I don't know if
really?
you'll ever see this, but he played at DePaul when I was there, and this guy was one of the best players you'll ever see in high school. Like when I saw him even in college, you know, but when I saw him in high school playing in person and the things he would do. Or if you guys haven't heard of him, watch Aaron Simpson's like mixtapes on YouTube. He coaches now. Simpson Elite Training, I think. You'll find him on Instagram. Aaron Simpson, though, he was a dog, man.
Yeah, for sure.
He would pull. I seen him pull up on like it was a 3-on-1, and I saw him pull up on like at half court and literally drain it, and it was one of the craziest things I seen.
What?
That's crazy.
He actually made Sports Center too when he was at DePaul. What am I saying? He he had a wide open layup. He turned around, ran, and hit the three. It was fire though.
That's hilarious. What was I gonna say? So after college down the line, you ended up coaching for IFS. So I guess the first question was, how was that? How was that to coach for IFS?
It was cool, man. Coaching was fun. I like coaching for IFS. I like coaching on all levels, but
Yeah.
coaching is cool. I'm a people person. I would say my passion is people.
Yeah.
So and I like being in like that leadership role, really being able to motivate people. And I mean, I did my best to tell these kids like, yo, if you want it, nothing's out of reach. You know, you'll have to work really hard, really harder than anyone else, probably has, but nothing is ever out of reach. I feel like a lot of people don't, maybe no one ever tells them that, and they kind of put caps on themselves.
Yeah.
Really, yeah, nothing's ever out of reach if you want it bad enough.
So what's the difference between Islamic school basketball and public school basketball from your perspective?
Uh,
Because
I
me and
think-
Ibrahim also went to an Islamic school. We were at CPS.
yeah,
So we have an idea, but
I think that public school basketball just might have obviously better facility, better, maybe like even in just better developing like things to assist with development, stuff like that, summer camps, all this random stuff that like people are actually taking
More of a
serious
focus.
and doing, more focus, more care for it. But like in terms of talent and stuff like that, I don't think like I think the best Muslim school hoopers can go start on like varsity teams at public schools easily. And I think like
Definitely.
if like there's Muslim kids that think like I think mentally that could be a block on a lot of like these Muslim kids that come out of like a Muslim middle school and they might start tweaking because they're playing against like a public school kid once they get to public school, but it's like it's not. And that's one thing I'm gonna tell my kid, like, yo, basketball is basketball. You can go get a bucket on anyone, it don't matter,
Facts.
don't matter who it is. So I think that's the biggest difference is just like more opportunity at public school. More people are going to be at the games. You'll have more games, so things like that.
So now I want to actually want to ask you, how did you transition from coaching at IFS to working with the Clippers, or is that how the jump went, or how did your career development go from there?
So it went like this. In college, when I started at DePaul, I started I did a bunch of free internships, whatever I could do. I started working for a sports agency. It was called Worldwide Career Management. And I started as an intern, but it was cool. I worked my way up to like ended up having the title VP of basketball operations. I just worked for like experience and like whoever got taken care of here and there, but I was really just grinding my ass to like get something on my resume while I was in college. I signed players to the agency coming out of college. I was like 21, but I was signing people coming out of college, and I found people jobs. Like one player, Musa Abdul Alim. Some of you guys might have even heard of him. Now he was just hooping with Sultan.
Yes, right?
Yeah. Well, I signed Musa to my sports agency actually years ago. And helped him get his first pro job overseas in Venezuela. Musa was a dog, man. He's a beast, and like he's real good, man. There was like even when he was signed to our agency, there was like times where like we were close to getting like these NBA workouts in the work, and like Musa was a dog, man. He killed it overseas too, and like if I wasn't at the tournament, I didn't see any clips, but whoever was there can attest to the fact that Musa was a dog. That's just one name that comes to mind. Like, there's other people. But that was a cool experience. I worked for an arena football team.
Wow.
Just helped like them on whatever I could in all operations. It was like just did whatever I could working there. And then just coached, just worked, did as much as I could until I got the shot. Like it wasn't easy. The Clippers, like I actually was getting ghosted by the Jazz in the interview process when the Clippers called me back and it invited me for an interview. And it was like, almost like such a crazy blessing for me because I was like almost getting down like, damn, why am I getting ghosted right now? And then not only did the Clippers call, then the Timberwolves called, and then everything just worked out, man. Went to LA, did the interview, got the job, accepted it as soon as he called me. He's like, "You still gonna go to Minnesota for the interview?" I was like, "No way, bro. Are you kidding?" Accepted. I think I probably the fastest anyone's ever signed an offer letter from them. I was like, right away, I was like, let me pull up my laptop, signed that, sent it right back.
Oh my
Hey, it's all
God.
good. Nobody wants to go to Utah anyways.
Yeah, you hate
We good.
Salt Lake City, Minneapolis, or Los Angeles. Come on, man. That's an easy
No
one.
brainer.
It was
Wow.
awesome, man. It was perfect timing, like I said, right before we signed Kawhi and PG. So I got to see how like our sales and business side was running before we got those big names, and then see the impactful change it made being able to bring those two. And then just being in LA, that was like LA was live. Staples Center was lit. Every Lakers, Clippers, every night someone's playing, and like everyone in that city was talking their shit. Like, it was LA was awesome. Those games were amazing.
Yeah.
Had a lot of good memories in LA.
So this is something we ask a lot of our guests who have kind of run-ins with NBA players or just athletes in general. So you were at the press conference with Kawhi and PG, if I remember correctly,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Was there anything we asked the same question and usually the same answer, but I want to ask this. Was there anything that you noticed about both those guys where you're just like, I understand why they're that good. I understand why they're NBA players. Like, was there something right away that you noticed?
I do remember thinking, because before I got to see Kawhi actually play, the first time I saw him in person was at the press conference. But yeah, I do remember thinking like, damn, Kawhi's jacked. Like I do remember thinking that.
Yeah.
Well, man, like when you're seeing Kawhi, like when I worked for the Clippers, PG's a dog, but like, man, with Kawhi especially, like even when we were down going into fourth quarters, sort of got out, look at people around me and just be like, yo, watch what's about to happen now. And then right on cue, Kawhi would come and win the game and like go to work and take over. And like, he's amazing. I think he's, for sure one of the best, like on that elite level.
Do you have any memorable experiences or interactions, either personally with a player or witnessing a player up front? It could be from any team.
Yeah, man, I ran into a lot of players, to be honest. I used to go out and like party a little bit with like Alfonso McKinney before he went and like before he signed right before he actually went and played with the Raptors.
Oh wow.
Right before he left for training camp, I went out with him like couple weekends before he left. So like those were cool. Like being able to chill with them. I was at the NBA Awards after party.
What?
Like that was sick. That was in LA at Bootsy Bellows, but it was cool because I was just like, man, Lou Will was there, Trae Young was there. All the Migos
Chicken wing Lou.
on the wall.
All of the Migos, not just one of them.
Yeah, they all were
This
there.
dude.
But like, man, it was cool. It's cool. Like I wasn't like being weird trying to go like holler at everyone, but it's just cool to be in the same like atmosphere and like as a league employee there too. It was cool. I've ran into a lot of players. I don't know. I don't know which one would be the most memorable if I had to think. But in LA, like there was just a lot of cool moments. I don't know. It's like working at LA, I got to like I ran into Brittany Griner at Subway. That was cool. And I was just like, I was like, what? And I was like, Brittany? And she was like, yeah, and she was with their teammates, but it was cool. Like she was so down to earth, like as dope as I talked to her for like 10 minutes. She was dope though. She was cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Who else? Like, man, you run into like I don't know. I've been so close. Like even standing at halftime, I remember like just being on the baseline and like Kawhi's just warming up like 10 feet away from me. Like 5 feet away from me.
Dang.
But it's
That's
cool.
the thing I've heard from LA is like people who are like in LA or in that space doing anything, like it's almost impossible to not run into someone. Like you're always gonna run into someone, whether in the entertainment business, sports business, like somewhere,
If you're probably if you're you at some point I'm sure you're bound to run into someone for sure.
Especially if you're in that like space too. Like that's why it was probably
I mean LA is definitely Hollywood and everyone's about that like life, but it was cool, man. Not everyone's like running up and talking to people though. Like I ran into Ashton Kutcher at an NFL game and no one else I was with went up and talked to him, but I went up to him. I was like, he was wearing a Bears hat. I was like, yo, I'm from Chicago. I'm a Bears fan too, you know, and like, can I get a picture? He's like, hell yeah, you know, took a quick pic with them. But like, just funny stuff. Like not everyone is like willing to just go approach them, but like,
Yeah.
dude, they're all people, and like, I'll just feel like if you're cool, they're cool. People are cool. Everyone's a human at the end of the day. It
Yeah.
only gets weird if you're like being overly like, but for
Being a
sure, you
fanboy.
can be respectful of people. You know, they like, it's funny. They're all cool, man. Like I ran into 2016 actually was when I decided I wanted to work for an NBA team in LA because I went in 2016. I was at Staples Center at the Drake and Future concert, and I was backstage, and like it was so sick. I was like, yo, this is Staples Center, this is backstage. And like I got to talk to Nick Young that night. I was talking to like, I don't know if you guys know who Niall is from One Direction, but like,
Yeah. What?
yeah, I chopped it up one-on-one, bro. Just me and him. Cause like this was during the concert, but I was like, yo, I'm gonna go backstage for a little bit. Everyone else is on the floor. I'm in the backstage lounge, and he walks in and just like pops up and like orders a drink, and I just start talking to him. But he was cool as hell. Like, so moments like that are like, it makes you appreciate it. Like he wasn't even trying to talk about himself. He's trying to talk about me. And I was like, dude, why are you trying to talk about me? I'm trying to talk about you, you know? So it was like, he's super humble dude.
Dang. That's crazy.
That's when I told everyone, I was like, yo, I'm trying to work at Staples Center. This place is bumping.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, somehow my goal worked out. Like I said, like dominoes fall in place. Somehow I ended up in LA.
So my question is,
Went there after college though. After college, I was applying, and I got that role inside sales, then got promoted with the Bulls and moved out here mid-season.
yeah. My question is, how did you find the job? What like website do you have to? Is it just on their team's website, or where do you have to go?
Directions, right?
No, there's a lot of websites that posted. The best site for sports jobs is probably Teamwork Online.
Teamwork Online. All
And
right,
if
I'll
you're
link that down below. Anybody who wants to work for teams, I'm gonna
Sports,
link that website down below.
Teamwork
Get to work.
Online. And like, if you're like a college grad coming up, you don't even have to graduate. Like I got in, the easiest way to get in probably is sales, because sales is all about like being able to talk to people and understand people and know the product, and like, you know, and anyone can really do that if you know how to treat people and talk to people and communicate, you know. It's
Yeah.
more interpersonal skills, but the sky's the limit, dude. You get in, you make the most of it. Even if you shut up and just kill it at what you do, trust me, like the right people will notice you doing well at your job, you know?
Dang. So, was there a time where you sort of looked at yourself and you went, I made it. I did it.
No.
If that's even happened.
I thought it was dope when the Clippers were like, you got the job. Or when I got like the interview, like it was like moment, like little victories, but no, never too high, never too low. Not really. I don't feel like I've made it at all. I feel like there's a nah, I don't feel like that at all, honestly.
Well, okay. What is your dream in life then? Do you have a big goal you're aspiring to achieve?
Man,
Getting pretty deep here, Jermaine.
Yeah. I mean, this guy's reaching for the stars. I like talking to Sultan.
just want to be a legend, man. Do something great, do something good, be remembered as good, and yeah, just keep working my way up. I mean, I think I've, been a student of this game, learned this game, have my own certain path, but places I'm trying to go, there isn't like a blue book for how you can get on that table where they're scouting. There isn't a blue book on like how you can work for a sports agency and become like a top agent, or, different things. Like who knows which way life goes. But I know that like I got to keep working hard at what I'm doing, killing it, treating everybody with respect, and like the opportunities come your way, man. They truly do, and you seek them too, and like believe in things coming together.
Dang, that's that's insane. I wanted to do. We're gonna, I guess, sort of segue a bit here. We want to do a start bench cut, but not with NBA players. We're gonna do with some front office players. All right.
Okay.
We're going to Rob Pelinka, Jerry Krause, Danny Ainge.
Dude, I'll probably give it to the OGs. You got to start Krause. I don't care what nobody say. Man's got 6 strings. You know what I mean? He's the one who made the greatest team of all time. So everyone has their pros and cons, but he definitely starts. And yeah, I mean, man, I'll take Danny Ainge. And he was in the league. He was doing damage.
Yeah.
Ainge, and he also has put together, like, he's done some great things too, I think.
Yeah.
Rob Pelinka's relatively fresh in this role, but
Yeah.
On the come
he
up.
had what he did. I mean, like, he was one of the best agents in the entire world before, so if he
Yeah.
was good, it's all about being the best at what you do, and I'm sure he's working his way to being one of the elites at that, if not already is there, but yeah, definitely got to respect the OGs.
So when Michael Jordan in The Last Dance was throwing shade at your boy Kraus, what was your opinion? Were you like, stop it, MJ, you're just saying it for the cameras, or were you like, yeah, I get your frustration, or what was your reaction to him talking all that crap about him?
Yeah, I mean, no, I get it. It's his frustration. It's like, I wasn't there. I was born in '95, so,
Yeah,
but
makes
all I
sense.
know is records are there, and Cross built that team, but he obviously isn't like the reason that team was what it was. Obviously, that was because of the players and Phil Jackson, but Cross played a role. He was still a
Everyone
part.
played their part. Yeah,
Nope, that's how it
definitely.
goes. You got to be
Yeah.
a star in your role. That's how championships are made.
Facts.
Dang.
Jimmy, are you going the same way?
Well, it depends what way you're going.
No, I'm saying, are you cutting Palinka as well?
Oh yeah, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, no.
I was hoping that you weren't gonna give these crazy takes. Have you heard any of Jamil's like insane takes?
Okay, I have a
I
lot of
want to
hot
bring this
takes.
up because you brought this player up. You brought up how you liked AI, right? You grew up watching AI and Kobe.
Yeah.
Jamil, do I
think
need to bring up? Go ahead, you say.
so. This is what I think. I think sometimes Allen Iverson gets more hype than he deserves, especially considering his career wasn't nearly at the par of some of the guys that he gets more hype than, like Dwayne Wade, for example.
Does he get more hype than Dwayne Wade? I think Allen Iverson was more of a cultural movement than Dwayne Wade, but I don't think
Thank you.
saying. I think most people are saying Dwayne Wade's the third best shooting guard of all time. Not,
Arguably, yeah.
but
Easily top
obviously
5.
Allen Iverson was, dude. I'd name me a player that took a team like I'm trying to think of a relative yeah. I mean, it's like
The
it's hard to
closest
explain.
comparison to that
Or
team
like
is
this guy
probably
took
that
a
Cavs
team
team.
against the Lakers. He went to the finals with that team was not that sweet. That team's probably like worse than what Trae Young has with the Hawks right now. And he took that team to a finals and won a game against Shaq and Kobe. Probably, in my opinion, like the second best team of all time after the Bulls dynasty.
Yeah.
So it's like
Speaking of
a legend.
Trae Young,
No, don't just go by your crazy take.
I'm gonna give another crazy take.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of Trae Young, this is one of my OG crazy takes. I still say it to this day. I don't like Trae Young.
This one's not as crazy though as you calling out AI. What you're saying about AI is straight blasphemous. Sultan's being nice about it. I'm calling it how it is. That's blasphemy. What you're saying.
No, sometimes because the way I look at it is this, right? His prime, he probably had what, like 10 good years, but then his winning
No,
is like
10 great years.
10 great years. But like, what did he do besides win the one finals game and carry the team for the 1 year?
Scoring titles, MVP.
Changing the culture of the NBA, literally changing the culture.
He made it cool to wear what he wants to wear now. What
He's the reason why there's a dress code.
Cool. He didn't care what corporate America thought was cool. He wanted to wear what Allen Iverson thought was cool, and that's what made him who he is.
Do you think that the NBA should just let players wear whatever they want? Because as far as I know, are dreads or a certain hairstyle still not allowed? I forgot what I was seeing the other day.
I don't think so. Not as I know.
Like, I know one of them is the ninja headbands. I know gold chains aren't allowed.
Yeah, I mean certain things like that, but that's just like
That makes sense though.
you can't I just say you can't pull up wearing like chains and earrings and hooping. The ref's gonna be like that out.
It was do-rags. Do-rags aren't allowed as of right now.
Yeah, because they have these different style headbands. NBA adjusted and made some like headbands that are more of that cloth material. You see like Drew Holiday and guys like that wearing it. So they kind of like met them in the middle where they're like, all right, will like make something of that kind of material that's a headbandish.
Yeah, that makes sense. My second slander I wanted to tell you about before we get into the final stretch was about Trae Young. Trae Young, I don't feel like deserved to have been in the All-Star game this year. I feel like this was the first time where not only did NBA fans, but people who actually have voting like rights in the
Wait,
NBA.
wasn't he snubbed?
What's up?
Didn't he say he was snubbed? He didn't make the All-Star this year. I thought.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying he didn't deserve.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying he didn't deserve to.
Okay.
Because he has this repetitive move where he just goes so far out of his way to draw fouls. And not to mention, he had a relatively poor shooting year to Trae Young standards. Do you think he deserves to be an all-star? And if so, over who?
I'd have to go back and look at the roster again.
Yeah.
Let me see if I see anyone at the right away.
All right, cool.
Man, I mean, you can make arguments. Ben Simmons was an all-star on the all-star team.
Especially after that last playoff series.
Team. Rudy, I mean, whatever, a different position, but like Mike Conley was on the all-star team. I don't know. I think Trae Young is who Trae Young says he is and who the people that are his fans say he is and think he is, and like that's what the playoffs are proving. To me, I don't care about regular season. That doesn't show me if you're great or not. Playoffs is where you see who's like about it. Trae Young is about that life, just like D Rose was about that life. Like Trae Young's a gamer. Even last night he wasn't making a shot the whole game, but then at the end he made like 3 shots, 3 out of 4 or something right at the end. He's a gamer. That's the kind of guys you want. He's not gonna not. He'll shoot 20 shots and keep shooting even if he misses them.
Yeah.
You got other guys, and Simmons shooting 0 shots.
So it's funny you're talking about this because Julius Randle was unstoppable in the regular season. Come playoff time, he was nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, so I think that was a huge problem. His points were like 5 to 10. It was a big drop off from where it should have been. Yeah, no, for sure. Like I said, I mean, whatever. I don't like to make excuses like it was their first time in the playoffs. And like I also because I seen guys go off in their first playoff runs like Trae Young, Luka, D Rose. D Rose had like a legendary game 1 against the Celtics, his first game as a rookie in the playoffs. So I don't know. Yeah, I think there's a difference, man. I think when the lights are bright, the person that can elevate his game, that's what like clutch is. That's what pressure is. That's what like a dog is,
Yeah.
So,
do you think Ben Simmons is out? You think he's out of there?
Yeah, he has to be out of there. It's not going to be. They both need new. Yeah, especially after what Joel said, what Doc said. I don't know if Doc's even going to be back, but especially with like what's going on, I don't think. But I mean, it sucks. His trade value's like so much worse than what it was like before playoffs.
Even 2 weeks ago, yeah.
Like last year, people were like saying we don't want to trade him for Harden, and now it's like you'd be lucky if you got like CJ McCollum for him, maybe.
Yeah.
So it's
exactly. Do you think the Heat should have given up players for James Harden?
Yeah, of course. I mean, who are the players? If you're talking about like Tyler Hero, of course.
Yeah. I don't understand what was going on in the Miami Heat's whole organization's mind for them to be like, nah, we just think Tyler Hero is that guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Tyler's young, but I don't know if it was just as much as simple as that. I mean, things are always more complicated behind the doors than like what just like Bleacher Report will say.
Appears,
if you asked me, would I trade Tyler Hero for James Harden? Obviously, yeah, I would. You know,
that makes sense. Anyway, we're gonna go into the final draft, the final final segment. We're gonna be doing a snake draft. It's Sultan, me, Ibrahim. Then Ibrahim, me, Sultan, and Sultan, you get 2 picks again at the top. We're going to be picking a team of the best NBA teams assembled. You can pick ever. All right?
Of the best NBA teams assembled?
Yeah.
We're drafting teams or we're drafting players?
No, we're drafting teams.
Teams.
Okay.
So
you guys probably have like a list open.
Let me get a list.
I just wrote down a list. I only got 6 on my
18.
draft board, but guarantee most of these will be gone by
One
then.
second. I think I can get a list right now. Right, here's Bleacher Reports ranking the 50 best teams of all time. All right, cool. Let me put this link down here. All right, cool. I put a link there if you guys want some guidance. But yeah, we can let
Get the first
you,
pick.
Yeah, we can
Me?
let you, Sultan, get the first pick.
Of course, 95, 96 Bulls.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that one was
That was a no-brainer.
obvious. Man. I'm gonna go. Wait, are we allowed to pick multiple Bulls teams from the era or no?
It's a different team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
I guess so. You know, just for uniqueness sake, more uniqueness sake, I'm just gonna go the 2001 Lakers. All right, Abe, you get 2 picks.
All right, I'm going the Bad Boys, and I'm going Showtime Lakers.
For sure.
Okay.
So now it's your turn, right?
Yeah, it's my turn. Oh, this team was beast. 85-86 Celtics.
Okay. Okay. Now I have 2 picks.
Yeah, you get 2
Sure.
picks.
I'll take the 91-92 Bulls, and then I'll take the 96-97 Bulls.
The best Bulls lineup ever.
Man's gonna have Jimmy. If you don't take at least another Bulls team, this man's gonna have all the 5 Bulls teams.
Hey, I don't. You can take him if you want. It's okay.
Your first pick was the 95-96 one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then 91-92, and then 96-97.
I'm going 16-17 Warriors.
Okay. That's not what Clay, Steph, and
KD.
KD, is it? Or is
Yeah.
it? It is?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. I know I'm gonna get a lot of shit for this, but because I love this team so much, I'm going with that Dirk championship team. Just because that team was built so like perfect. And then my other team is gonna be I'm going with the Heatles. LeBron, D Wade, Chris Bosh.
Yep. Let's see, which one do I want now? I'm looking through this list. Ooh, 99 Spurs.
Is that with David Robinson?
Yes.
Okay. All right, close this out. You got 2.
Me, my final 2. Okay. Let me.
How many Bulls teams are left for this man?
No, since I have 3 Bulls teams, I'll try to switch it up. I'm just trying to think who I want to pick though. You took the Showtime Lakers, didn't you, right?
Yeah.
Then I'll take not the Magic Lakers, but I'll take the 71 Lakers. 71,
Ooh.
Jerry West, Kareem.
That's Jameed's favorite player is Jerry West.
Elgin.
I hate Jerry West, his play style. I got it. I remember, I would look at his highlights and be like, bro, I see middle schoolers dribbling better than this guy.
Well, yeah, that's back in the day, but that team was still fire. They won a lot. Kareem is like, or they were led by Wilt. Did I say Kareem or did I say Wilt?
No, I believe it was
led
Wilt.
by Wilt and Jerry, and that was a fire squad.
Like,
Yeah.
I look at Jerry West highlights. I'm like, how the heck did this dude score 60 in like a finals game or something, or whatever it was?
Even that team had Gail Goodrich too. I don't know if you guys ever seen him play or even played with him in 2K. Elgin Baylor was a dog. He's got a statue outside of Staples Center.
Is it him who has the most finals L's?
Jerry West? Yeah.
Elgin Baylor.
Elgin Baylor.
Oh, I thought it was Jerry West.
I thought he was like
I'm not
0-8
sure.
or something.
It's
But-
a funny stat. And then I get one more team, don't I?
Yeah, you get one more.
Yes, sir.
I'll just pick a team that I like. I'll go with the Nuggets from the Allen Iverson, J.R. Smith, and Carmelo Anthony.
I wish that team.
Nene.
Yeah. That team.
That was a squad. Brooklyn is nice though. This Brooklyn team's gonna be sick one day if they're ever healthy.
Stay healthy, yeah.
Unbelievable.
All right, Jermaine.
Do I get one more pick?
Yeah, it's your last pick.
03-04 Pistons.
Nice.
Yo, that team was really nice, man.
Yeah, it was a cool
Rasheed
team.
Wallace, Ben Wallace. Tayshaun Prince was that unsung hero for that team, man. He doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah, that team is, that team's like
Love that
an
team.
anomaly.
Yeah.
A team to win without like a LeBron, Kobe, Jordan. There aren't many of those. It's like Dirk's Mavs and then this Pistons team.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the 7-second or less Phoenix Suns team, even though they've never won anything, but just because that team changed the way basketball
D'Antoni.
has been played.
Mike D'Antoni, yep.
All right, let's read the lineups then. We got Sultan with the 91-92, 95-96, 96-97 Chicago Bulls, the 71-72 Lakers, and I believe it was the 05 Nuggets. And I got what is this? What are all these numbers you wrote?
16-17 Warriors, my bad. You have the 16-17 Warriors, you have the 85 Celtics, the 99 Spurs, and the 03-04 Pistons.
Yeah, there's one more. What was my first pick?
You had the Celtics, the 85 Celtics.
Was that your first pick?
No.
No, it doesn't sound
No,
like
my 2001 Lakers.
Kobe and Shaq, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
How could I forget?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And 01 Lakers, 16-17 Warriors, 85 Celtics, 99 Spurs, and 03-04 Pistons. Ibrahim's had the Bad Boy Pistons, Showtime Lakers. He had Dirk's Mavericks, I believe that was 11. The Heatles with LeBron, and the Phoenix Suns is this the Steve Nash one?
Yeah, Amari Stoudemire, Sean Marion.
Man, how he got
Rajon
more
Bell.
MVPs than Kobe is beyond me. But whatever, man.
Dude, so many people have MVPs that shouldn't have MVPs more than Kobe.
Yeah.
Like Giannis has 2 MVPs. Dude, I don't know how Kobe only has 1 MVP, but
Yeah.
it's okay. It's not about MVPs. It's about rings, and Kobe's got 6.
Yeah.
5, sorry. Mike's
Yeah.
got 6. Thinking
What a
about
beast.
Kobe's
Anyway, that
Mike's-
was everything we had to cover today. Sultan, did you have anything you wanted to say to people? Anything you have going on in your life that you wanted everyone to know? Anything you wanted to say?
Nothing, man. It was cool. It's cool talking basketball with you guys. Always down to talk basketball. But thank you for having me. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, keep doing your guys' thing.
I appreciate it, Sultan. Thank you guys for listening to the Climate Podcast. Good night.